So, Halo Reach. This was the last Halo game that Bungie made, and well, it is one of the main reasons for a lot of modern Halo's problems. But, let's take this one step at a time, as this is going to be a bit long-winded. Halo Reach's development, as far as I'm aware, went smoothly. I couldn't find any notes or information about its development being anywhere near the hellscape development of 1 or 2. The idea of Halo Reach was to tell the story of Reach, a planet that has been mentioned many times in the game's manuals, by characters in-universe, and through random battle chatter. Of course, this game is a prequel to Halo Combat Evolved, so a lot of mechanics would be readjusted to fit in with how Halo 1 played. Basically, we would be playing as a Spartan again, but it would feel as if we were playing as Master Chief back in the first outing, for better or worse. Much like an ODST, we can't dual-wield and still take fall damage. However, we got shields back as well as the Halo 1 health bar, with a small mechanical twist. Your health bar slowly regenerates, up to a certain point. You'll still need to prioritize health packs when you can, but it does make trying to survive during firefights more bearable than in Halo 1. Aside from that, we now need to talk about the massive Covenant supercarrier in the room. You remember the Halo novels? Those things I said we weren't going to talk about? Well, we need to talk about them now, as they are part of the reason for why Halo Reach, the game, even exists.
Hey, what the fuck? What? Why does this keep happening? No, please, get these out of here! No!
You see, we already had the story of Reach's fall. The very first Halo book, Halo: The Fall of Reach. A book that Bungie notoriously didn't want, and resisted until Microsoft said, tough shit. The book was to give backstory to Master Chief, and it did follow the original Halo development's notes and story beats. However, Bungie was the kind of group that didn't like outside writers mucking about in their universe. This led to an attitude from Bungie that, unless specifically stated by them, anything from the books was to be treated as dubious canon at best, and completely non-canon at worst. So all these book titles were up on the chopping block of didn't fucking happen in the eyes of Bungie. Halo Reach the game was supposed to be what retconned the entirety of Halo: The Fall of Reach, a book that, I remind you, was 9 years old and had a huge following, which, let me tell you, when the game retconned the timeline of the book, least to say it was a meltdown of epic proportions. Where the book stated that Reach fell within a couple of hours, the game changed it to over a month, as well as making plot and background events in the game really hard to reconcile with the book. Although the endpoint would always be the same, with the Pillar of Autumn making it to Halo to begin the events of the first game. Now, why bring this up? Well, this is to inform you, the person watching this video, of the behavior and mindset surrounding Halo Reach at its release. It was and is Bungie's swan song to the franchise, but it's a song built on spite, and that led to a lot of problems, both gameplay-wise and story-wise. But in order to show you what I mean, let's just get into the story and gameplay. Halo Reach begins with showing off the state of the planet, a world that has been glassed by the Covenant and just left to hang in the void as a dead husk. On its surface, however, is the helmet of a Spartan, and when we fade to white, we find out it's our helmet. Yep, in Halo Reach, we the player are the protagonist. Though we have always had a customizable Spartan throughout the multiplayer modes of Halo, this is the first time our custom-made Spartan takes a prominent role within the Halo universe. Whatever you customize your Spartan to have, from armor to emblems to colors, and even armor effects, will appear in the campaign. Now, this was an awesome idea, letting us create our own Spartan and making them a participant in the story to experience it for ourselves is a great idea. We take on the role of Noble 6, a very recent addition to the Spartan squad known as Noble Team. Here we are introduced to our fellow Spartans, Carter, Kat, Jun, Emil, and George, which we will talk more about later. When we arrive and meet our new team, we are given orders to investigate why one of Reach's communications arrays went offline, and to find out why the Marine platoon that was sent in never reported back. Which leads us to our first mission, Winter Contingency. Winter Contingency starts out as a slow burn, trying to build up to the eventual reveal of the Covenant, which doesn't work. Honestly, I know narratively this was supposed to be a big shock as to what's going on, and Halo Reach is an entry point anyone can get into, but we saw that Reach was burned from the beginning. We know it's the Covenant that burns Reach. So why play up this mystery anyway? Either way, yeah, it's the Covenant. No reason to beat around the bush. However, you probably noticed that the Covenant looks a bit different. Well, yeah, we got new variants of each Covenant unit, starting with Skirmishers. These Jackal variants are fast and will be much more aggressive than their shielded counterparts. We also get new Elite variants. Instead of the usual color differences, we get new armored variants which will adjust shield strength depending on what you're fighting. So, say you run to an Elite Miner. Their shields will be very weak and easy to break, while something like a General will have much stronger shields that will take a good amount of ammo to break through. Though, the Covenant aren't the only ones to get a few changes, as our weapons and even equipment have been changed. Let's talk about the changes to equipment here. For starters, equipment is no longer a one-use item, but permanent upgrades that you can equip in the field that come with varying cooldowns. The equipment types are Active Camo, which is basically invisibility. However, it's been changed so that it jams motion trackers, but also if you move, the camouflage wears off, making you visible until you stop moving again. Armor Lock, which immobilizes you in one spot, but makes you invulnerable to everything while locked down. Then, once its timer runs out, you shoot off an EMP, destroying any nearby enemy shields. Then there is Drop Shield, which is the new bubble shield. Though it can now be destroyed with enough punishment, it also adds a healing effect, so if you are low on HP, it can regenerate you to full in a few seconds. The hologram equipment creates a duplicate of yourself to distract targets, however it only mimics you holding still or running. The evade equipment allows you to Dark Souls roll out of the way, however this is only available in multiplayer. Then there is the jetpack, which allows you to get to high areas, but don't expect it to carry you forever. Then there is the most notorious inclusion of all, Sprint. It's like sprinting in any other game. It makes you run faster. That's it. The new equipment was controversial, but we will get into that in the multiplayer section later. For now, let's talk about the new guns and some rebalancing in the Halo sandbox for Reach. The UNSC gets two new guns, the DMR and the grenade launcher. The DMR replaces the battle rifle, so instead of getting a 3-burst rifle, we get a more accurate version that does more damage at the cost of having less ammo. Then there's the grenade launcher. Letting it fire normally just launches a grenade with a smaller explosive radius than a regular grenade. But if you hold the trigger after firing it and release it when the arrow on the reticle turns yellow, you can create an EMP to break shields or stun vehicles.
Stat, 6. What's your status?
Other weapons got slight buffs and nerfs again. The Magnum can now zoom in again and feels just as powerful as it should be. The rocket launcher got its lock-on back, but only for air units. The shotgun had its damage reduced, and other weapons had their damage and accuracy increased or decreased for balancing. The Covenant also got new weapons, starting with the Plasma Repeater, a plasma rifle variant that gets faster the more it shoots, and it has the unique ability that you can press the reload button to vent heat before the gun overheats. Then there is the Focus Rifle. It replaces the beam rifle and gives off a constant concentrated beam, but like other plasma weapons, it now overheats the longer you fire it. Then there is the Concussion Rifle, a Covenant grenade launcher which has a knockback effect instead of an EMP effect. A rather annoying weapon in all respects, and of course there were more minor changes to different Covenant weapons. However, the most controversial change to guns, both in campaign and multiplayer, is Bloom. Bloom is basically a mechanic where, the more you fire a gun off, or the longer you fire a gun off in succession, the worse the accuracy of the gun becomes, making your shots trail off their target. Now, Bloom has always been in Halo since day one, but for some reason in Reach, they cranked it up to the max. And if you remember how I said that elites get varying shield strengths now, which means you need to be hitting them consistently, you have probably figured out the problem. I'll talk about this problem more later, but for now, let's get into the story, or how very little there is. So, with the reveal of the Covenant on Reach, Noble Team fights through the valley, clearing out groups of Covenant scouts, while Kat and Emil head to the comm center to start repairs on it. We find the poorly voice-acted Marine platoon and save them, and we are eventually airlifted to the comms array to back up Kat and Emil, who are under fire from Covenant reinforcements in the area. We arrive in time, however the Covenant is throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us, and even with the power of forklift certification, we can't stop the onslaught, so we lock ourselves inside the facility to deny the Covenant their numbers advantage.
Check your corners and clear everything that moves.
Oh my god! What the fuck? As we explore the facility, we stumble upon the body of the lead researcher, a wounded Marine, and a civilian. Before we can get more info, though...
What's the status? Over! We've been engaged! Bad guy coming out! That Tango group has permission to pursue. Negative 4, stay on the entrance. 2, handle her. 5 and 6, clear the hole.
So, yeah, after clearing the Covenant out of the back rooms and restarting the base's power, Kat is able to get her comms working again, and Carter informs her superior, Colonel Holland, about the Covenant being on Reach. And of course, this is a really bad thing. To give some context for the Halo universe, during the Human Covenant War, humanity went out of its way to hide Earth's existence, so that the Covenant couldn't find our homeworld. However, Reach was not only the first world humanity colonized, it is also the military powerhouse for the UNSC that is directly on Earth's doorstep. With that revelation, Noble Team is redeployed to Sword Base, as a Covenant Corvette is hanging out above the base and causing problems. So Noble 6 and Kat are assigned to clear Covenant forces out of the outer perimeter, get the AA gun back online, and get our comm center online to communicate with the rest of the UNSC. After doing all of that, we return to Sword Base to find that the Covenant have gotten inside, leading us to have to clear them out with the help of the rest of Noble Team. Then we have to blow up a Phantom and a squad of Banshees to push the Covenant out, which we do. And after seeing the Corvette get the orbital treatment, we are called away to talk to her. For those not in the know, this is Dr. Catherine Halsey, the woman responsible for the Spartan 2 project that gave us Master Chief and his fellow Spartans. This is technically her first on-screen appearance, as she was a book-only character for so long. The conversation is basically about the elites that popped up at the comm station, as they were identified as what we call zealots. Those elites are only deployed if it's extremely important, so the lead doctor at that facility must have found something that warranted attention, alluding to the reason why the Covenant are there. Though before we get more info, we are dismissed and sent on our next mission. Nightfall is a short mission where we team up with our team sniper Jun to infiltrate a dark zone on our radar. There isn't much to say about this mission story-wise, aside from some small world building with the wildlife of Reach and finding a local militia who are fighting off Covenant forces. Though after finding the Covenant pylon that's creating the Dark Zone, we find out why they needed a Dark Zone to begin with. The Covenant have landed an invasion force, which leads us to Tip of the Spear. Again, this mission isn't story heavy either, just showing the UNSC now engaging the Covenant in a massive ground battle. After clearing out Covenant AA guns throughout the valley, we are picked up by George so that we can get to a massive spire that the Covenant are using as a forward base. Although we have a rough landing, we do eventually climb to the top of the spire and lower its shields, and a friendly frigate comes in and blows it to high hell.
Copy that, Noble One. Be advised, all ground units. Frigate 318 Heavy is inbound, and MAC rounds have been authorized.
Mac rounds? In atmosphere?
One way to get their attention. Hang on to your teeth, people.
No, somebody tell me this ain't happening.
UNSC Frigate Grafton, do you copy?
Grafton is dust. We need to get out of here now.
So, shit has gotten worse. A supercarrier is hanging out in Reach's orbit, and any resistance the UNSC puts up gets crushed, leading to Kat coming up with a desperate plan. Get a slipspace drive, the thing that allows for faster than light travel in this universe, get on board a Covenant Corvette, and use it as a makeshift bomb. This leads us into our next mission, Long Night of Solace, where Noble Six and George are taken to a facility where we get a special starfighter called a Saber, and for the first time, we are allowed to dogfight in Halo. The major gameplay section here is using the brand new Saber gunship. I like this section. It's pretty fun to be able to fly a starfighter, which it's really weird that with Halo being a sci-fi universe, we rarely get to do battle in space. We are at first assigned to defend an orbital repair station that is getting our slipspace bomb ready. Then after that, it's taking the bomb to the Corvette. And after an extended battle, we get aboard the Corvette and get it on its way to its supercarrier. However, there is bad news. Turns out, while we were fighting, our bomb's timer was destroyed and our escape ship was fried, which means that George has to stay behind to activate the bomb. He throws us out of the ship, as we can survive re-entry from space. George then activates the bomb and blows up the supercarrier. So we won, right?
Slipspace rupture detected.
Gamma station control, reading multiple pings below the orbital defense grid.
Slipspace rupture detected.
Yeah, we're picking up anomalies too. Are you reading it?
Slipspace rupture
Multiple
detected.
Covenant signatures.
Slipspace
Is anyone
rupture
listening?
detected.
They're everywhere.
Slipspace
Yeah,
rupture
fuck
detected.
the whole damn Covenant, please.
Slipspace.
Of course we didn't win! Of course it was gonna get worse! And this leads us to our next mission, Exodus. A mission where we regroup with the evacuation forces in the city of New Alexandria and help them evac civilians. This mission isn't story heavy either, but in my opinion, this is the best mission in Halo Reach. Fighting through a city that is actively being evacuated adds so much more to the gameplay. saving civilians, helping Marine squads that are pinned down, and having to navigate the skyscrapers and buildings to get to evac zones. It does a lot more to sell how bad the situation is than New Mombasa did back in Halo 2. Hell, we actually see the Covenant actively targeting civilians and even later shooting down an evacuation transport.
Oh my god.
Mayday! Mayday! 6 Echo 2, can you maintain altitude?
Negative! We're going down! Son of a bitch. I can't watch this.
After a brutal beachhead fight trying to activate what's left of the city's AA defenses, we are able to stop a Corvette from destroying the evac site and get back in contact with Noble Team, leading us to the next mission, New Alexandria. New Alexandria is a weird mission for Halo, using the new vehicle, the Falcon, to get around. Our task is to take out 3 jammers throughout the city. However, we also get 2 random side objectives. There are a total of 7 side objectives that can happen during the mission that require you to either escort people, defend positions, or save units who are pinned down. Taking out the jammers can also be in a random order, but they are always in the same 3 locations: the club, the hospital, and a penthouse. And once we destroy all of them, we are retasked to assist Kat at the Oni Tower with destroying Covenant turrets that are stopping an evacuation. After we do, we finally regroup with Noble Team, and as they try to process the death of George, and the fact that Reach is pretty much fucked, we get a call from Colonel Holland, who assigns our team to destroy Sword Base, or at least what's left of it. Then our position gets bombarded by a Covenant glassing beam, then Cat dies!
What?
Yeah, it's just really abrupt. I mean, yeah, in war, people just drop dead out of nowhere, but what really bothers me is that in this game, we never get to really know much about Noble Team. Which is fair, the story isn't about Noble Team, it's about the fall of Reach. But genuinely, when I played this campaign through with my wife, she pointed out that if Noble Team wasn't here, the story would literally not change. Which, yeah, it really wouldn't. Hell, they aren't even around as a full squad enough to make it feel like you are fighting with a Spartan fire team. But back on track, this is where the plot of Reach finally gets going. Arriving back at Sword Base, we can see how badly the Covenant destroyed the area. Finding an abandoned Scorpion tank, we use it to blow through Covenant defenses and destroy their AA guns. What's left of Noble Team is able to get into the ruins of Sword Base, and we regroup with them inside the base. Getting inside Sword Base proper, we are led to a random room where Jun points out that if we're supposed to blow this place up, this is the wrong position, since it has no load-bearing columns. When he mentions this, our coordinates get revised, and our objective is now underground. And as we gain access to the new coordinates, a wall opens up, revealing a secret rail line. Once we get on board the tram, we are contacted by Halsey, who informs us that the entire pretense of the original mission was to get us here, and that Noble Team is now under the direct command of Oni. As for why there was so much secrecy, we are finally shown why. Underneath Sword Base is a Forerunner construct. Halsey says that the data she got from it can save humanity, so our task is to defend the lab until the data is ready. After a few punishing waves of Covenant forces breaking in through the ceiling, we are finally allowed to enter the lab and meet Halsey in person. Here she reveals that the data she found was a birthright from the Forerunners to humanity, and that the AI she has with her is protecting it. That AI being a part of Cortana. We are tasked by Halsey to take Cortana to the docked Pillar of Autumn ship, and deliver her and ourselves to Captain Keyes. Noble 6 is entrusted with Cortana's safety for the time being, and after leaving Jun to protect Halsey, we go off to our penultimate mission, Pillar of Autumn. Pillar of Autumn is a long push to the Pillar of Autumn, and seeing just how bad the battle has gotten, everyone left is trying to help us make it to the Autumn, with Carter sacrificing himself to kill his Scarab, Marines desperately holding out, and even Emil electing to stay behind and cover the Autumn's escape with an AA gun. I think we will make it.
Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
Lieutenant, get aboard! We gotta get the hell out of here! Negative. I have the gun. Good luck, sir.
Good luck to you, Spartan.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sadly, we are forced to stay behind, as without the AA gun, Keyes and the Pillar of Autumn won't make it. So after clearing out what's left of the Covenant forces that are trying to stop the Autumn, it escapes, sadly leaving us behind. However, this wasn't the final mission. Even though we do get a cutscene of the Pillar of Autumn beginning the events of Halo 1, we jump back to Reach, and the mission, Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is a mission that ends when you die. There is nowhere to go, you have limited ammo, and the Covenant forces endlessly come for you, and the longer you go, the tougher the Covenant gets. This mission does a lot, and it does feel like our genuine final stand. Over the course of the fight, our armor gets damaged, our HUD gets cracks, and we lose our motion tracker and ammo count, until we are finally put down. Though we fight valiantly, we are eventually worn down, overwhelmed, and killed. The game ends how it began, with our damaged helmet left in the dust on Reach. Though, we do get a final monologue from Halsey, who says that thanks to our actions, the events of the other games were possible. As well, we get to see a hopeful future, as Reach is being recolonized. And that's the campaign of Halo Reach. This has by far the weakest story campaign out of any Halo game. We knew Reach was going to fall, and that it was the point of the story as a whole, but this was really weak in my opinion. We hardly get to know the characters, we hardly get to explore Reach as a planet, and Noble Team just shows up to die. Hell, we get to meet and talk to Catherine Halsey, the woman who made the Spartan program, and she feels wasted here. Does this mean it's bad? No. Halo Reach is still a fun campaign to play through. It's just that the story doesn't really get going until New Alexandria, which is already 75% of the game. It's a good way to come into Halo, but there just isn't a whole lot here if you're looking for a deep story. However, Halo Reach, much like Halo 3, was where me and others spent a lot of our time, and the multiplayer pissed off the more competitive crowd. The new equipment options, Bloom, and another mechanic called Assassination really made games frustrating to play through. Armor lock was broken and gave tons of players an unfair way of surviving. Bloom would cause you to miss shots that could have been game-winning, and Assassinations really break the pace of the game. It was a mess for the competitive scene. However, casually, Reach is stupid fucking fun. Just like with Halo 3, I got my community together for Halo Night, and well, here's the outcome of that, with much better video quality this time. I'm the scariest man.
I mean, launcher. Hi, boss.
Hi. Hi. That stuck right on my head!
Zach
that
has
happened.
friends, and he's
No! Why?
their house is one, so if somebody pops in his head.
Ah!
The fucking shadow.
Good! I'm much happier with that outcome!
Your brother has the sword.
Yeah, I'm much happier with that outcome!
Hey, Zach, turn around. Zach, turn around. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, one of you, come here. Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot.
What?
Stop shooting the body! Dead already. They don't know that.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You're not my supervisor.
I want to know what's going on up there. How fun is it?
I should have saw that coming.
That fucking song.
No, you are not taking that sniper! No! Ah! Fuck!
That's right.
Give him cover, give him cover, give him cover!
Oh, we deserve to lose. I got fucking stabbed in the back.
Run in the other direction!
Ah!
Run the other direction!
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Lord.
Okay. Ready?
Nope.
Crazy people.
Ah! Get felled, bitch!
Oh yeah, you can get there pretty easily.
Up there.
You mean like that?
Oh my god! Somebody shot you just.
It was worth it, damn it!
That was beautiful, boss.
Halo Reach, at the end of the day, was a success. But Reach was not popular with the competitive crowd, as I said, or the fans of the books. But it was popular with the casual crowd who didn't really know or care about the mechanics or the books. However, with its completion and additional DLC added later, Bungie was done and off to make Destiny. Microsoft had made a brand new studio to helm the future Halo games, 343 Industries. 343 was made up of former Bungie veterans who wished to continue on Halo, writers who had worked on the expanded universe, and fresh new blood. And while Halo Reach was in development, 343 was tasked with the development of the next Halo game, which is the game we will talk about next time. Halo 4. Will it live up to the original trilogy, or will it be the downfall of Halo? Well, in my opinion, everything that has caused problems for Halo started with Reach. But we will get there when we get there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in September, as I'm taking a vacation at the end of August. So, I'll see you all next time. And please don't forget to sub to the Patreon. My God, I need your support more than ever.